Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Tone's Market Analysis for Wednesday, March 22nd. I'd like to welcome our live viewers. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm going to be trying to make these earlier. I'm now going to shoot for 6 p.m. Perhaps I can even do it a little bit earlier. I know there are some European viewers that definitely cannot tune in if I do them at 8 or 9 p.m. Eastern time. So I will be trying to get these out earlier. Also, thank you very much for your donations. I forget to mention that sometimes. I'm still sticking to my goals of not having any advertisements on my blog, not having any advertisements on my YouTube channel. I'm really trying to stay away from that. My goal is always make my money trading and then provide all of my podcasts and all of my info for free. Lately, however, I've been very, very busy doing these podcasts and doing this content, and Bitcoin has really starting to take over. So I haven't had much time for my trading. So I will need to find some kind of a balance. And you will be hearing more about that soon. I may also move some of the live streams to other places other than YouTube, but they will always be available on YouTube, just perhaps not in real time. But I'll have more on that in the near future. All right. Until I separate traditional markets from the Bitcoin markets, I am going to talk about traditional markets again. I'm going to try and make this very, very quick. I know most of my live viewers, it's not their cup of tea, but I will be separating the two podcasts in the near future. Hopefully not too much past Tone's Market Analysis number 50. And then I'm going to separate the two. So those that aren't interested in traditional markets don't really have to listen to me talk about them. And I'll try and build my audience of non-Bitcoin people in other ways unrelated to this channel. All right, traditional markets. Again, I haven't been paying attention to traditional markets at all, which is why I do need to get back to it. I had no idea that the stock market fell this much yesterday. I saw it today. I was just busy all day yesterday. And we fell from, how much did we fall? We fell a good 30 points, if not 40 points in the S&P 500. Wow, I mean, I had absolutely no clue. It looks like we are, and look, we are coming off this 9 right here, which is very, very interesting. I know other 9s haven't really worked out, but this was a point of a pullback. Let's see if this is sustainable. We are coming up on the 50-day moving average. Looking at the weekly chart, I've had this arrow right there, had it for a few weeks now. I've been looking for a bit of a pullback in the S&P 500. We finally got the pullback. It looks like we came exactly to this Fibonacci line at 2335. And let's see if we can break it, or this is it. This is it for the pullback, and now we go higher. So this will be interesting. But right now, this, I mean, considering how strong the market has been, it would be nice to see a bigger pullback. But again, considering how positive the market has been, this might be all the pullback we get. So let's see how this week ends. If this is more, if there's some buying coming in tomorrow and Friday, then the market can certainly reverse. All right, let me close the stock market. Here's gold. And the stock market took a bit of a tumble. Gold continues to have a little bit of a rally. And gold has now rebounded way more than I expected. I expected this to be a head and shoulders. It has rebounded quite strongly. And let's see, you have resistance coming up. And I'm not a big double tops guy, right? So if we come back up to this 200-day moving average and then reverse, I'm going to probably say that gold is going to go higher than 1260. Looking at the weekly, we're coming up on serious resistance right here. We have the 50-week moving average turning down, and we have this Fibonacci. And if we can bust through both of them, which I'm leaning to the fact that it's not going to bust through both of them. But if it does, you have this declining trend line, and that's going to be important. So I don't think that we're going to get to this trend line, but if we do, that's just another point of resistance that probably not going to break. And then it's, again, down she goes for gold. Let's close that. Oil. I've been bullish oil. It looks like we are closing the week below the 50-day moving average. If oil doesn't have a strong end to the week, I will remove these arrows, and I'm going to consider oil to have failed this inverse head and shoulders and now starting to go back down. So I'm still going to give it a few more days, and after that, I'll probably turn bearish on oil. So oil was quick today. Here's the euro. Euro's going up a little bit. And again, this is now a double top, which I don't like. You can also call it a cup and handle. I don't know if you guys can see my mouse. Maybe I'll do one of these. Right, so pretty clear. It's a cup and then a handle, which is, you know, a bigger dip followed by a smaller dip. And we do have this declining 50-day moving average. It's probably lower than it's been in 10 years, the 50-week moving average, sorry. And if we do get up there, that's probably going to be all she wrote, and everything's going to reverse. So if the euro's going up, probably means the dollar's going down. I'm sure the gold bugs are out there, you know, screaming dollar is imminent for a crash. S&P 500 is imminent for a crash. And the dollar is going to crash, gold's going to go up, and I don't think so. I think it's all going to reverse any day now, or any week now, I should say. I'm on a weekly scale here. Here's my trade, my theoretical trade that I would do. I would do this trade because the risk-reward ratio looked really good to me. And had I done this trade, I would have shorted the euro against the pound at 0.875. And as you can see by the darker green right here, that this trade would be profitable still, and it looks like it's going to make lower lows. All right, and now we're getting to Bitcoin. It looks like I have about 100 live viewers. I was hoping to break my record from Sunday of 250 live viewers and have it being consistently with over 200 viewers that almost that entire show. I guess on Wednesday is not as popular as on Sunday, maybe also because I'm doing this a little bit earlier than usual. But this is a good time for you to start throwing your questions in. Please begin with a capital word question so they're easy for you to spot. I will do a Q&A. I will keep this Q&A a little bit shorter than usual, only because I have to do a live remote presentation for the Idaho Bitcoin meetup, which is happening tonight. Thank God they're a few hours behind me, being closer to the West Coast. So I'm doing that tonight. And tomorrow, I am going down to Philadelphia, where I will be speaking at the Philadelphia Bitcoin meetup. I believe it's at the 30th Street Station. So go ahead and Google that. So if you are in the Philadelphia area, please come out and support and watch me speak, and you can ask me live questions. And I'll be in Philadelphia into the weekend. Haven't been to that city in a year or two, so I'm looking forward to it. All right, here's the weekly chart of Bitcoin. This week's candle, it hasn't finished yet. It doesn't look like anything really. We're sitting between two Fibonacci lines. The top Fibonacci is the previous all-time high, which is around 1200. And the lower Fibonacci is at 915. My regular followers know I've been talking about 915 for weeks. And I saw that as a support level, and it looks like it did fairly well. Let's see what happens going forward. Here is that daily chart with that 915 level. All right, so let me let me once again be clear about something. So in last week's video, I talked a fair amount about Vinny Lingham's views and some of the other people's views. And I mentioned Vinny's article where he sold 90% of his Bitcoins. Now remember, Vinny's a trader. I'm not a trader. My Bitcoin position is the position I am willing to lose if the Bitcoin experiment doesn't work out. Vinny sold 90% of his Bitcoin that he wasn't willing to lose. He is now holding on to the 10% of his Bitcoin that he is willing to lose if the Bitcoin experiment doesn't work out. It's very possible that Vinny Lingham's 10% left in Bitcoin is larger than my 100% that I have in Bitcoin. That is very, very possible. I don't know how big his position actually is. I have no clue, okay? Now, me and Vinny are very, very different traders. I am a technical trader, but I talk about fundamentals. Vinny Lingham is not a technical trader. I've never seen one of these charts from Vinny. So when I've said over the last few weeks that 915 is a support buy point, and prior to that, if you go back through Twitter, I was very adamant about 760 being a perfect buy point, and then I was talking about 915 being a perfect buy point. This has absolutely nothing to do with the political atmosphere of Bitcoin. This has nothing to do with insider information on Bitcoin. This has nothing to do with whales. All this has to do is me looking at this channel and the patterns on this over here with these red lines and these bouncing bouncing up against the red lines. That's all it is. I am not speculating on the future of SegWit versus surrogated witness versus the ETF. It's none of that, right? So my 915 buy point is just completely technical. And if this buy point breaks down, this would look very, very bad for Bitcoin. I don't have my Twitter up. You know what? Let me do that now. Go to my Twitter while that loads. Okay, so that's something that people need to understand, and this is why Vinny and I differ, because I also don't trade on any insider information. First of all, I don't have any insider information, right? I don't speak to these high people. Occasionally I do. I try not to listen to insider information because I find I'm a technical trader. If someone tells me like some kind of hidden insider information, I will screw that up in my trade. Even in traditional markets also. Some people say that all the money is made from insider information. Yes, if you know how to use that insider information. I was told very privately on insider information from someone about the Bitcoin ETF and how they were in contact with an official appointed by Obama and that the Bitcoin ETF was going to pass. And clearly that didn't work out. I didn't believe it. I said, I don't believe you. I don't think you know anything. That's kind of what I told the person. And I didn't use that information because all the private information that has ever been given to me turned out to be the worst information to trade on in the market, at least in my case, right? For me personally. So I ignore it. I ignore all private information because you're going to think that it's bad for the market, but the market will do the complete opposite of what you think. So I ignore it. I don't bother. Okay. All right. So that was just my little view on why I am bullish Bitcoin and why other people are bearish Bitcoin. And I'm bullish Bitcoin because I'm still in this channel. As long as I'm in this channel, I'm going to be bullish Bitcoin. Now, here's why I wanted to go to my Twitter. The other day, I sent out this tweet that I strongly recommend people look at, where I said, my long-term followers should recall that I was the most hated Bitcoin forecaster. Oh, sorry guys, I think my mouse just died. Not literally, it's just some battery, so fix that problem, right? I was the most hated Bitcoin analyst and forecaster because I was bearish on Bitcoin for over a year between 2014 and 15. And look back, I mean, this tweet took me half a day to put together. This goes back to August of 2014, where I had this triangle, and I wrote, get ready for a drop in Bitcoin of like $100. And I talked about how descending triangles would break to the downside. You can see this descending triangle right here in this picture. I don't know if I can zoom in. And then look what happened. We were going down forever, okay? Here's another article from January 2015. I've been doing this a long time, guys. The real challenge is to get the average person to buy into the new wave of technology, talking the technology of Bitcoin. The problem shows up in the battle between privacy and independence versus convenience. I wrote this over 2 years ago. It's going to be 2.5 years ago soon. Privacy versus convenience. Bitcoin Unlimited wants convenience. I wrote about this 2 years ago. And again, look at the picture on Cointelegraph. I'm explaining why the price of Bitcoin is going to go down. People hated me back then. I don't know how many of you are watching me live right now or will watch this video that remember these articles. Here's something else from that same article. Many in the Bitcoin space are now saying that the only way it can succeed is if it embraces the current financial system and integrates with the current financial system, while the original Bitcoin fans want nothing of the sort. This is causing a bit of a rift within the community, and the tide will sway based on the health of the financial system, basically, right? So again, I'm trying to explain that back in 2015, everyone wanted Bitcoin to play nice with the current financial system, which again, like a lot of people like this phrase, drives me up the wall, right? Everyone hates the banks, but everyone loves the ETF that is going to be controlled by the banks, right? It makes no sense to me, right? Everyone wanted R3SEV. Everyone wanted Coinbase. Everyone wanted Bitcoin to be accepted by the government. Everyone wants the US government to help Bitcoin, yet, God forbid, one financial institution puts a little bit of money to support core development, and everyone is again saying how Wall Street is bad, but then everyone wants the ETF controlled by Wall Street. Everyone just has their own agenda. Everyone just wants to be rich. Everyone wants their pile of Bitcoin to be either more valuable or pretty much have more Bitcoin. And whatever position will help you make money in Bitcoin is the position you're going to take. Almost no one in the space has any principles. Everyone is up for the highest bidder, okay? You have to realize that. When you listen to people that want the ETF and then yell and scream about evil bankers, who do you think is going to control the ETF? Anyway, so here's another one. This is what I mean. Like, people hated me back then. I was bearish from like somewhere over here, like in early 2014 with this downward trend line. We broke the trend line. I was bullish for a bit, and then I was bearish all throughout. I was ultra bearish. Again, so I'm not going to read this part. It's interesting, but don't. This is Tone being a complete idiot, where I kind of thought Darkcoin, now Dash, was a good idea. So yeah, I'll admit my mistakes. They're right here in print. And I'll admit I was an idiot right there, okay? And the Dash was $3 back then, okay? And I somewhat supported it. And I was saying Bitcoin better get its act together or something like Dash is going to take over. That was me being a complete idiot. That is totally not going to happen. But again, we learn. Here's an article. And again, want to look at this article. This is March 2015. And I write right here, most likely we will return to test the low 200s and even the low 100s. I wrote it right there in March of 2015. In April 2015, writing for Brave New Coin, I wrote, keep an eye out for the double bottom support at 160. I said 60s. The bottom came in August. So about 5 months later, at 162. That's what we hit in August, okay? People hated me back then for being bearish. And here are all of my bearish posts on TradingView. TradingView is the best blockchain, by the way, outside of Bitcoin. The best blockchain outside of Bitcoin is TradingView. They have the most immutable code outside of Bitcoin because their website relies on one thing, the fact that when you publish an idea, you're not allowed to retroactively change your thoughts on the market. TradingView as a company that is now should be making pretty damn good money because I love charting on TradingView. They have an immutable blockchain, and if you want to call it a blockchain, it's not a proof of work blockchain, but it's an immutable database, and they make sure it's immutable, because if their database is not immutable, their business model collapses, okay? And it's in their best interest to keep it immutable, something that Ethereum decided wasn't important, okay? So think about that. And they're in full control. They're just a database, okay? Yeah, I know it's not a blockchain. I was making a joke. A blockchain needs proof of work. They're not a proof of work. But if R3 is going to call themselves a blockchain, and if Steemit is going to call themselves a blockchain, and if God knows what else, Hyperledger, whatever you want, if they're all going to call themselves blockchains, then Twitter is a blockchain, and Excel is a blockchain, and certainly TradingView is a blockchain, and TradingView is the best one of them all because they're actually immutable, because their business model relies on them being immutable. R3 is no longer a blockchain. Thank you, Vortex. You are correct. They are no longer a blockchain. They realize that they're not proof of work, and they don't need immutability. So they're just a database. Okay. Next. I don't know how I got on this tangent, but I just want to remind you guys that this is what happens when you are bearish Bitcoin. When I was bearish Bitcoin, I go against 80% of Bitcoiners that need Bitcoin to go up so they can make more money. So you become a very hated person. Anytime you say I am bearish Bitcoin, you automatically become when you say Bitcoin is going up, everyone loves you. The moment you say Bitcoin's going down, and I had technical reasons for Bitcoin going down. So guess what? If the technical picture changes, if we fall out of this channel, if we fall below the 200-day moving average, I will be bearish Bitcoin because the technicals will tell me to be bearish Bitcoin. People will make fun of me and tell me that I'm late, that you should have been bearish, you should have sold it all. Everyone is gonna tell you that they sold all of their Bitcoin before the ETF announcement. That's complete nonsense, okay? But they will tell you that. Look, as long as we're in this channel, I'm bullish. Anytime we go to the bottom of the channel, I'm ultra bullish because I'm expecting a bounce. One of these days I'm going to be wrong, and I'll take it from there. But the technical picture remains bullish. Let's take a look at the daily. The hourly. The hourly is really important. So check this out, guys. I'm gonna draw on this here. I know I already asked for questions, and I really need to scroll up because otherwise I'm going to lose those questions. Rich, if you are watching live, and I think you are, if you want to compile those questions for me, that would be absolutely awesome. And then shoot them over to me somehow, maybe Telegram, like in one giant message on Telegram. So shoot over all of the legit questions that have to do with finance, nothing personal. I don't have time for personal questions today. So any questions that are relevant, if you can just compile them for me if you're on, and I will keep an eye on Telegram, and I'll give you the go ahead, and then hit the enter button. Okay, hopefully you're watching live. All right, so let's take a look at the hourly. I'm going to extend this. Hopefully I won't screw it up too much as I extend it. Let's do this. I know I can like double click on it and auto extend it, but I'm lazy. Okay, so, and I guess I need to extend the bottom one a little bit. I hate hourly charts, by the way. I don't know why I'm looking at it, only because it was fairly good for a while. You know what? In the meantime, I'm going to scroll up to the top of the chat so I don't really lose the questions. All right, so I won't see any live commentary, guys, by the way, because otherwise I'll lose the top of the chat because it doesn't last forever. All right, so we made this low just above 915. Now, by the way, some exchanges only went as low as 950. Exchanges go as low as 905. So for all intents and purposes, my call of a 915 perfect buy was hit because I don't know what exchange you guys are using. This is Bitfinex. The low on Bitfinex was 935. The low on other exchanges was just above 900. So therefore, my 915 was hit. Let me take a look at the Brave New Coin Liquid Index, because this is what I really like to use as my average. The low was 940. So based on the index, we came up just short of my 915. But these are ballpark numbers. Also, if you look, 915 is actually below my channel. My channel was right at 960. So anywhere in that area was my low. And that created a nice buyback. Now, as you can see, we came to the 200-hour moving average and got rejected. But I'm liking these wicks right here. Okay. Now, here's what else I like. If I grab one of these trend lines, right? So what I see right now is a higher high, assuming it holds into the night. I see this being fully confirmed by the RSI. And here. Okay. Confirmed by the RSI. Oh. And look at the volume. See the volume? It's gone down. The panic's over. Okay, now people are starting to think. Okay, people are thinking. Panic's done. Okay, it's a good sign. It's a good sign. Are we gonna go up? I don't know, but my technicals tell me that we are. Let me get an arrow on here. Right, so I'm looking at this, guys. That's what I see. That's what the technicals are telling me. I have no idea. I have no insider information. I have no idea if the fork's going to happen. I have no idea if the fork's not going to happen. I know nothing. All I can do is look at the math and my knowledge of charting. And to me, it looks like we're going up. So again, for me, this is a really nice risk-reward trade, which I am not going to do. Just want to make that clear. I am not trading Bitcoin. Because if I end up on the wrong side of the trade, it's gonna influence what I think. So I would take a long position because so let's 1020, right? What am I looking for? Well, I'm looking for 2013 all-time highs. So I'm looking for 1175. What am I risking? Well, I'm risking a breakdown below it. So I'm risking 980. Okay. There. and let me extend it. So, wonder if I can extend it. Oh no, that's price. Oh man. Shoot. All this, I'm gonna screw this up. Oh no, I'm not. Perfect. It's an hourly chart, so there. So if you are a technical trader that likes good risk reward, this is your trade. Of course, this trade would have been a little better right at 1,000, but I didn't look at this till just now, right? So so I'll be reasonable. I mean, I would probably set a limit order at if I was trading, which I'm not. I just want to make that clear. I would set a limit order at like 1,005, 1,010. But it might not get there, right? So I would actually just buy it right here if I was trading. This is not trading advice because I'm not taking this trade. It has a nice risk reward. I would jump in. I would probably double down at around 105 if it pulls back a little bit more. But I would exit this trade right here at 980. And what I'm looking for is a new high. And my RSI is looking nice. My MACD is looking nice. I just need them to turn, and we're good to go. Okay. So this is what this is what I see by opening this up just now. Okay. All right. What else? Okay. I need to talk about my article. I know I have like a million questions waiting, but if you have not read this article, please go and read it. I talk about the possibility of a hard fork. All right, I have a Skype message coming in. Display my entire Skype window. So shoot. All right, let me see. It's Rich. Okay, cool. Thanks, man. All right, excellent. Cool. Yeah, so shoot those over to me. If you can compile them for me, that'd be great. Thanks a lot. Oh yeah, thank you very much for your donations. Thank you very much to some of the people that are volunteering to help me out with some of the stuff, because I have more. There's so much more I want to do, and I'm just like, I don't have the time to do it all. It's actually becoming impossible. Okay, so please take a look at this article. I try to warn people not to panic. However, you have to understand the risks. If you don't understand the risks, you don't know what to do when these things happen. Now, what you need to do is you need to be prepared for as many scenarios that can happen. And even if a scenario happens that you weren't prepared for, because you were prepared with 5 other scenarios, if something unexpected happens, it'll be close to one of the others, okay? So please go back and read this article. China is very heavily involved. It's not just Roger Ver. And a lot of us came to this, I mean, like, I kind of knew it, but I didn't really connect the dots. So I sat down, I thought about this for a day, and I wrote this article trying to connect the dots between China and the potential attempt to take over Bitcoin, which I do not believe is going to be successful. Sorry, guys. Bitcoin Unlimited has a serious problem. The incompetence of their developers, like, you can't even begin to describe it, the incompetence of their development. I mean, they might make the DAO developers look smart and know what they're doing, right? Like, Ethereum developers are better than the Bitcoin Unlimited developers. There's no experience there whatsoever. They have a figurehead named Gavin Andreessen that may or may not know how to program. No, I'm not sure, because if he was really good, he would still be with Core with the other 100 good developers. I don't know. There are other people. They have no experience in this whatsoever. Their leading economist is Peter R., who the first time I ever saw Peter R. do a presentation, I turned to the guy next to me and said, this guy is an idiot. This is exactly what I said to the person next to me. And the person turned back at me and says, but that's Peter R. And I look back at him, I'm like, that means nothing to me. I've never heard of him before watching this presentation at the first Scaling Bitcoin. I just watched him do a presentation and completely get everything in economics ass backwards during his presentation. At least my view on economics. Okay, there's nobody there. There's nobody competent there. Now, Bitmain is the biggest chip producer. So they are mining with their own chips. I don't know how much a miner costs. I've never mined in my life. I have no idea. All I know is that there's a production cost to make a miner. The second that miner comes off the assembly line, Bitmain can put it to work. If you are buying this miner from Bitmain, they will sell it to you at double the price it costs them to make it. Everything is sold at double the price it costs to make, at least. Also, if you are buying it from them, you cannot put it to work as fast as they can put it to work. So if you are buying their miner to mine, if you are profitable, it's dumb luck. Dumb luck. You have no shot. The only company that can compete with Bitmain is Bitfury, because they also produce their own chips. So if you're buying your chips from Bitfury, you have the same problem. You will never be as profitable as Bitfury. Bitmain sells these chips everywhere. So most of the mining environment is dependent on Bitmain's hardware. If you are running, I'm not going to get into this, and I did not get into it in the article, so please read the article for the details. It's impossible for me to explain it all. If you are dependent on Bitmain's hardware, let me see here. That's John McAfee nonsense. Okay, if you're something like BitClub and you are dependent, you're basically running an MLM. You're not a Ponzi yet. Yet is a key word here. Okay, and I really want to cover cloud mining and BitClub in my episode of Crypto Scam if I ever get to that podcast ever again. They're MLM. They are using Bitmain's hardware. They're not a scam yet. But guess what happens if BitClub go against Bitmain? Bitmain can stop selling them the miners out of spite. Of course, it's in Bitmain's interest to sell them the miners because it's money for Bitmain. But if Bitmain chooses to cut off the faucet of miners to BitClub instantly becomes a Ponzi. They become Mt. Gox. They become Cryptsy. This is what I mean. They're not a scam yet, but they absolutely will be. That I'm 100% certainty. Okay, it's only a matter of when. So this is why a lot of these other operations that depend on Bitmain have to support Bitmain by signaling for Bitcoin Unlimited. And they would be complete idiots to mine with Bitcoin Unlimited code because it's literally bugs unlimited. That's already been proven. So here are the problems. There's speculation of that facility with John McAfee. I honestly, if you're connected to John McAfee, you will ruin your reputation completely. That's not wise. It's completely the other way around. Okay. I don't know if Bitmain is bluffing or not. I don't know if Jihan is bluffing, and it's just a stall tactic to make a bigger fee. Now, here's the thing. If the price of Bitcoin goes down, the mining fee goes down because mining fee is mining fee is calculated. Your transaction fee is calculated as satoshis per byte. As the price of a satoshi goes up, your transaction fee goes up by default. So the higher the price of Bitcoin, the higher your mining fee is going to be regardless whether the blocks are full or not. Now, I made it clear that Bitmain doesn't care about more transactions in a block because they don't mine full blocks. I have links to that, or follow Whale Panda Right. Again, it's hard for me to describe everything in this article. So I don't know what their plan is. Now, here's the problem. The problem becomes, okay, fine. What about dropping the price of Bitcoin to really hurt Bitmain? Not only so that they now have less fees, but remember, fees also go up if the blocks are full. And there's too many transactions. People want to get to the top of the queue. So the mining fee goes up in order to get your transaction in earlier. But the mining fee will, be smaller because of 200 satoshis per byte of space in that block. Now, here's the problem. People are like, well, if Bitmain and Jihan, if it hurts their pocketbook, if they stop making money because the price of Bitcoin drops to 300, that would help SegWit. And I disagree with this on several levels. One of them is if the price of Bitcoin drops that low, we can lose confidence in Bitcoin. Like right now, I believe that the price of Bitcoin is still high at over $1,000, is because a lot of the users don't know what's going on, but a lot of other people, like myself included, still believe in the core devs and believe that they will solve our problems. And it's confidence in the system. If the price of Bitcoin starts to drop, that confidence in the entire crypto space, especially Bitcoin, is going to start to get lost, which is a problem. Okay. Also, it's the belief like this. I mean, Google the phrase. It came out of Vietnam. We had to destroy the village in order to save it. I don't want to destroy Bitcoin in order to save Bitcoin by recommending that the price should go down in order to push SegWit in. I would rather have status quo. I would rather have Bitcoin go up to $2,000, $3,000. I would rather see a transaction fee of $5, $10, whatever. I don't care about a coffee with Bitcoin, buying your Starbucks. I don't care about Purse.io. I don't really care for those organizations, right? Like, just because your business model is currently screwed because you can't make microtransactions, that's partially dependent on your business model. Okay, so if you adopt SegWit, it'll solve your microtransaction problem. All right, so a few other comments on this. Okay, so here's the end result, right? So I don't know if Roger obviously wants to fork, but I don't know if Bitmain really wants to fork or not, or they're just, grandstanding. Here's the situation. If we fork, Bitmain and all its subsidiaries that use their hardware may be in a position to attack the BTC chain, which, if they do, will destroy all of Bitcoin. If BTU splits, becomes a potential viable chain, and they attack the legacy Bitcoin chain, no one will trust. I will leave the space. You will never hear from me again. You can watch my stock market videos, but I will not even acknowledge a single Bitcoin question. It'll be irrelevant to me. To me, Bitcoin as a movement has died. Would I use the BTU coin? If it's useful to me, I would use it, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't. To me, the movement has died, basically, and I don't think it would be useful. I don't think anyone would trust them, and they would lose all confidence, basically, in that chain. Now, if the two go their separate ways, we would, and I explained this in the article. Bitfury becomes the dominant chip maker and miner of one chain, and Bitmain becomes the dominant chip maker and miner of the other chain, and we have like complete dominance by a single miner. So that's it, right? There's no. That's current mining. What do you call them? If you think mining is centralized now, if we have two separate chains where Bitfury is one chip maker for one and Bitmain is one chip maker for another, that's mining centralization times 100. because both chains are completely dominated by a single miner. And who the hell would trust either one of these Bitcoins? They will both die. There's nothing there. Like, all roads lead to the death of Bitcoin in these scenarios. And this is why I believe Bitcoin isn't going to fork. And if it does fork, the BTU chain has to die within 3 months or be irrelevant within 3 months. Like, they'd have to be like number 8 on CoinMarketCap, right? They have to be irrelevant within 3 months. Because if both chains are relevant, then, I mean, you have 2 Bitcoins, you can't explain it to anyone, and no one trusts either chain. And no one knows if one side is going to attack the other chain with hash power. Like, nobody knows. The confidence in Bitcoin will die. And if the confidence of Bitcoin dies, the entire crypto sphere dies. Because if Bitcoin couldn't pull it out, do you really think Ethereum would? Do you really think Dash would? Monero would? Of course not. It's ridiculous. Again, that's the scenario. So you need to be holding the Bitcoin you're willing to lose in these scenarios, but I don't believe they're going to happen. However, being the smart, competent, core developer team that they are, they have come up with a backup plan in case something like that happens and one or like their SegWit chain becomes dominated by a single miner. And this is why they will propose a proof of work upgrade that would disrupt this mining monopoly by a single miner. I don't know. I'm not a developer. Luke Jr. is a genius, and several other people will help him put this together, including Peter Todd. They will come up with a way to bring the system back to 1 CPU, 1 vote, and just get the ASICs out of it. I mean, they don't want to do this hostile plan, but if this is, but this should be an option if Bitcoin splits into 2. And again, to me, this is more evidence that it's in no one's best interest to split Bitcoin into 2. I don't believe it's going to happen. And if it does happen, don't panic and just be ready for it. And now, what I know? I just ordered a laptop off of Amazon. Once I get this laptop, that laptop will solely be running a Bitcoin core SegWit node. I will try and do a video. I will try and document how I set up this node, and then I will publish that video so people know. Okay, I don't know what else I wanted to say. I did want to talk about this article. I think you guys now know everything I know. And again, my job as a speculator is to be ready for all of this. Rich, I'm going to open it up, and here are the questions. Sorry, I'm just going to, Rich is helping me out. Thank you. And I'm going to go with the questions he has picked out from the live chat. This way I don't have to scroll through the live chat. If there are more questions, go ahead, shoot them my way. I'll try and go through them real quick. This video is already 50 minutes in. I'm going to try and keep it definitely to less than an hour and a half. Okay. If this fork happens, wouldn't it be an idea to give each chain a use? I answered this question before the video started in text. Look, no one has control of anything, right? All we can do is have the smartest people we can find to propose changes to the code. Whether those changes are accepted or not is not up to anyone. No one is in control here. There are checks and balances. Core developers put up their suggestions for changes to Bitcoin code. Miners and users need to agree to those changes. Now, miners can mine new Bitcoin with or without those changes, but it's the users. It's the ones that have the core nodes or nodes period. This is this link right here. Bitcoin core client 0.14 and run a full node. If the code on my full node does not support Bitcoin Unlimited code, you cannot send me a Bitcoin Unlimited Bitcoin. So if all of the miners, if 90% of the miners decide to mine Bitcoin unlimited, but 90% of the users that are running full nodes choose to only accept non-Bitcoin unlimited mined Bitcoin, then the Bitcoin unlimited blocks that are mined by Bitmain, they will have nobody to sell them to. They will only have 10%. Maybe 90% of the blocks are being mined, but guess what? There's nobody they can sell that Bitcoin to. No one's accepting it. So the users have the final say. It's the users that are running full nodes have the final say. Honestly, guys, I had no idea how important full nodes are until this month. This month, March, I wouldn't even go as far back as February. I learn also, okay? I had no clue how important full nodes are. I might not, I've been recommending Airbits for a while now, but guess what? I was using blockchain.info wallet until that wallet screwed me badly in 2014. And then I switched to Mycelium. And then Mycelium, I wasn't too thrilled with that, and I switched to Airbits. And now, because of this hard fork, if Airbits doesn't add a feature where I'm bouncing every transaction off of my own node once I get it up and running, if they don't add me a feature fairly soon to bounce my transactions off of my own node, then I'm gonna have to move most of my Bitcoin off of Airbits and onto another wallet that allows me to have full control of what Bitcoins I'm using. Okay, these are important. I did not realize the potential dangers with SPV wallets, because SPV wallets, you're trusting somebody else's node. And this hostile hard fork has educated me that I need to be more in control of my own Bitcoin. And hardware wallets help you get there as well. So you can have your private key on a hardware wallet bouncing every transaction off of your own node that you know what it does. Look, you have to be more responsible when you're using Bitcoin. And I'm learning as well. And as I learn, so will my followers. Okay. So yeah, the SPV wallets need to be on the same page as me about supporting SegWit and ignoring Bitcoin Unlimited, or they can also provide support for Bitcoin Unlimited. I don't care. But in a way, I do care, because my view is that if we have two equally dominant chains, then Bitcoin failed. Bitcoin is all about consensus. It's about having this one currency. It's about having one internet. If we had two internets right now, how terrible would that be? So yeah. So I can't see myself supporting a Bitcoin wallet that also supports Bitcoin Unlimited, because I don't believe in that, right? So I would be moving all of my Bitcoin onto a hardware wallet that allows me to broadcast through only my own node. And I'm also, again, I'm kind of technical. I used to be way more technical. I don't want to be technical. I want smart people to give me the technology that I need, right? And look, anyone that gives me crap about not being too technical, but then you don't have your own website and you have a Medium blog, you know what? Who's more technical? Me, who built his own website and I have my own domain, or you on Medium? Okay, I don't like reading things on Medium. I prefer people that have their own websites and their own blogs, right? Because then because that's the counter argument. It's like, yes, I'm not technical enough, but I'm not all that technical, but I was technical enough to build my own website. So that's kind of my view on things. So yeah, once I put together my own node, I'll document it, and I'll try and post that up. If altcoins, not sure what that means. Continue. Oh God. If altcoins continue to have major pumps and Bitcoin traders begin to leave Bitcoin for alts, to try and get in on the profiting. Will this help or hurt BTU in the battle against BTC? No, it's going to hurt both of them. BTU and BTC are gonna hurt. But remember, they're traders. If traders are going to these coins, they don't care about the technology. They just care about making money. And that's okay. You want to make money, just admit that you're only in it to make more money in any form. It doesn't matter. You want to be rich, you want to, have a hotter girlfriend by being rich, whatever floats your boat. You want to drive a nicer car. Look, it's nice to be rich. You want to fly first class, whatever you want, right? But this is the problem. If everyone starts going to these other altcoins because they have given up on the Bitcoin's proposition of creating censorship-resistant value transfer, you might as well go and trade the stock market. There's two reasons why you're not going to trade the stock market. One, because it's regulated and you may not even have access to the US stock market. Two, you have no clue what you're doing in trading the stock market because all you know is altcoins, because there's no barrier to entry. Okay, and people like me will take your lunch if you decide to trade options. Okay, and people smarter than me that have experience in trading options, we're gonna crush you. Okay, if you go and try and do it. So no, it will. The speculators, if all the speculators leave and we have more volatility, again, if once Bitcoin isn't trusted as a decentralized censorship-resistant value transfer, what good is it? And all the altcoins will literally become trading mechanisms until the SEC shows up and arrests every oracle, right? So Vitalik, Evan Duffield, Ricardo is going to be tricky because he's not an American. But these coins have oracles. Dan Larimer is now gone, but Ned Scott's still around. They're just gonna come in and they're gonna, take them off to jail and then see what happens with the confidence in that coin. Okay, next question. Do you think Roger coin, aka China coin makes more sense, will ever have the balls to pull the trigger and fork, or just continue their filibuster? I have no idea, guys. I honestly don't. My guess is as good as yours. So Peter Todd puts the chances. Okay, so here it is, right? So Vinnie Lingham's probability of a hard fork is way over 50-50. I have no idea what it is, but if I had to guess, I would say his probability of a hard fork happening is probably closer to 75%. Or 90%, right? I mean, if he sold 90% of his Bitcoin, he is 90% confident in Bitcoin hard forking. Peter Todd recently said that it's 50-50, that China is going to hard fork it. And Andreas Antonopoulos said there's a 10% chance that they're going to hard fork it. I am in between Andreas at 10% and Peter Todd at 50%, right? So if my best guess is there's a 35 to a 40% chance that China is going to go through with a hard fork. But even if they do, I have no clue what's going to happen right after. I'm expecting that chain to die. But people like Roger have a lot of money, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. The best way for that coin to die is if all the users are using SegWit-supported nodes and reject Bitcoin Unlimited transactions and reject Bitcoin Unlimited blocks that they mined, okay? And those blocks would just get rejected. Just like when Roger's pool mined a Bitcoin Unlimited block over 1 megabyte and it got rejected and they lost 13.5 Bitcoin. So if 80% of the public is not running a Bitcoin Unlimited node, then they're not going to accept those transactions, and that chain will die. The amount of mining power they have on that chain is irrelevant. It won't matter. They won't be able to sell the coins that they mine. They'll just get, their blocks would get overwritten by the minority miners because no one's accepting their shit. I could be technically wrong here. Again, I'm not as technical as some people or as some people will think. All right, next question. Let's see. What happens if there is a hard fork and you own Bitcoin in the Airbits wallet? I am almost confident that Airbits has this addressed in their frequently asked questions. I have not had time to deal with it myself. If the hard fork happens tomorrow, I am not prepared to what to do with my Bitcoin. I honestly don't know. People are asking me, Tone, what's going to happen with your Bitcoin in case of a hard fork? I have no clue. I'm clueless here. I know nothing. I'm an idiot. I don't know what's going to happen to my Bitcoin. I don't know how I'm going to get my Bitcoin unlimited tokens. I don't know how they're going to split. I like Airbits, but I need to take a serious break and restructure where and how I store my Bitcoin, because I want to be more ready than I am, and I want to explain to people on these podcasts how I am preparing for this. I am completely unprepared for the hard fork. This could be a very naive position on my part because I still think a hard fork won't happen. If a hard fork happens, again, I expect Airbits to solve this problem for me because I have outsourced my technical ability to smarter people that I trust. Is it blind trust in SPV wallets like Airbits? Maybe. I don't know. You need to take your time and research where is the safest place to store your Bitcoin and how. I am currently uneducated because I have never prepared for a hard fork in Bitcoin. I never owned any Ethereum, so I did not experience the Ethereum hard fork. Those that have experienced the Ethereum hard fork are way better experts than myself as to what happens to your coins in wallet X or wallet Y or wallet Z. I will be looking to educate myself and be more prepared for a hard fork so that I know what to do. But right now, I don't know what to do. But here's the thing. I don't trade Bitcoin. I don't use Bitcoin. If a hard fork happens, I will probably not use my Bitcoin for months, years. Who knows? I'm prepared to lose all my Bitcoin because I believe in what Bitcoin stands for. And if the wallet that I'm using screws up and loses all the Bitcoin on my behalf, then it's partially my mistake for trusting that wallet. Okay? I am unprepared to deal with the split in my Bitcoin. Hopefully, I will be more prepared in a few weeks, and hopefully, they won't hard fork. And if they hard fork and it immediately dies, it's probably not going to matter. Okay? Ironically, I entered Bitcoin in 2013 at the last time Bitcoin split in a fork, but it was a bug fork. But that's what kind of happens. You see, all this controversy in Bitcoin is putting Bitcoin in the spotlight, which brings in more people to Bitcoin. And all these new people are coming in at the worst possible time where nobody knows or understands how to explain the situation. So the new people come in, they think that we're experts, and in a way that we are experts, but we're not experts in the unexpected. We're not experts in the unknown unknowns, which is what a Bitcoin hard fork will be. So I recommend going to your wallet and putting pressure on your wallet as to what happens in a hard fork, so that maybe the wallets will come together the way the exchanges come together and tell BTU to go F themselves. If all the wallets come together, if all the SPV wallets come together and they support SegWit and they say we will only bounce our transactions off of the BTC nodes, only off of the SegWit compatible nodes, it'll be a huge statement to the miners that they have no power at all, none. Okay, so maybe they'll do that. I hope they will. Look, I don't want two coins. And I want the more competent, more decentralized dev team to propose changes. All right, next. Where am I here? Okay, that was the Airbits question. Yeah, so please go to Airbits, check out their frequently asked questions. I hope it's there. If not, let's hope it's there soon. I have not had time, guys. All right, next question. I understand that Roger Ver is fanatical and might kill everything. But what about Chinese miners? Aren't they just practical money makers? Are they really going to risk a fork? If so, why? They are money makers, but there's different views on it. Maybe they think they'll make more money with Bitcoin Unlimited. If they think Bitcoin will survive, and they now control the majority of the hashing power, and they now at full control, the world is at their mercy. So maybe they'll think they'll make more. Maybe by preventing SegWit from ever happening, there will never be Lightning, there will never be off-chain transactions, and they will make insane amount of money in fees. I don't know what they're thinking. Maybe the conspiracy theory that the Chinese government is behind it all, and they're looking to either control Bitcoin, or they're trying to crush Bitcoin. Maybe that conspiracy will turn out to be true. I don't know. So when you're making an assumption that they know they will make less money with a hard fork. Now, I am saying that the ecosystem will die and they will make no money, but they can disagree with me because that's an opinion. And it's very possible that they believe that they will make more money this way. So it's our job to convince them that they won't. And it's clearly not working. Okay, next. What is my outlook on silver? I guess it's the same as gold. I can pull up a silver chart. As it's loading, I'll look at the next question. Let me see here. Silver. I'll do silver weekly. I guess I'll do both silver weekly and silver daily. Okay, so I'll let that load, and I'll get back to questions. All right, so I'm here. Should I load up on my exchange with US dollars so I can buy cheap BTC? Okay, so I'm assuming you mean BTC and BTU. Look, guys, I can't give you trading advice because I honestly have no idea. All I can do is look at the chart. The moment I look at the chart, I can give an answer, what it looks like technically. Do I think that Bitcoin is going to crash? I don't know that. I have no idea. The charts are telling me that it's not ready to crash. My mind is telling me that Bitcoin is not going to fork, and this is all bullshit. And I believe SegWit is going to succeed, because if SegWit isn't successful, if our core team leaves, then everything's dead. I mean, everything dies. I mean, it'll still be around, but it'll be like I don't know. It'll be like the Skype that I'm using now that kind of went to crap once Microsoft bought it. Okay, next. In the event of a hard fork, what do I have to do to dump? Yeah, I have no idea, guys. I don't know. I don't. I cannot answer that question because I just don't know. I don't know what's. I already said that. I don't know what's going to happen if the hard fork happens. This is why I don't want it to happen. I don't think it's going to happen because nobody knows. I don't know how to get my hands on BTU coins. I'm not. I don't have any exchanges to sell them on. Like, if I end up with BTC coins and BTU coins, I'm probably going to end up holding both of them for years. I'm not going to rush to the exchange and sell it because I don't even have any accounts with any exchanges. If anything, I will sell the BTU for cash on the street, right? Oh, when am I coming to Los Angeles to speak? Anytime someone pays for my flight to Los Angeles, I'll gladly go there and speak at any venue or anyone's house, right? So it's I pretty much, like, a lot of my I speak all over the world. I pick and choose where I speak, but if you pay for my expenses to go and speak there, you will get priority over an event that does not cover my expenses to get there. So I've never been to Los Angeles, actually. I've been to San Francisco, I've been to San Diego, I've never been to Los Angeles. So the first Bitcoin event that covers my expenses to show up in Los Angeles, I'll gladly go. I have no problem with that. All right, let's look at silver real quick. So silver is right here. So here is the daily silver, and we're stuck right under the 50-day moving average. We're still under this peak, and we have the 200-day moving average. So this is a nice risk-reward trade right here. You can probably take a short position in silver right now, and you would leave the silver position if silver goes up, 50 cents. Not even 50 cents, like on a really short-term view, if silver goes up like 35, 40 cents, you'd be out. And your reward is, all the way down to 15 bucks. So it looks like a nice risk reward on a daily chart. Let's look at the weekly chart. The weekly chart is, again, right, nice risk reward coming up soon. If silver goes up a little bit more, it will hit the dual resistance of the 50-week moving average, and the 200-week moving average is going to hit this giant descending trend line. And again, it's a nice risk-reward trade. You can time your big trade to the downside, and if you're wrong, you exit the trade fairly quickly. So silver is going into resistance, and the higher probability chance that it will get rejected and go back down. All right, next question. If the potential fork is just down to the miners going along with BU, has any attempt been made to persuade them to change their mind? I think all of the attempts to persuade them have been beyond exhausted. I don't think there's any more convincing. There will not be a compromise. A hard fork is going to be contentious. The only solution is a soft fork. If someone wants to present a better soft fork than SegWit, I'm sure everyone in the world would listen. But any remote suggestion of a hard fork is not going to fly. Now, the proof of work rule changes may be a hard fork. So we'll see how that one goes. But that's the nuclear option. That would be basically if the core devs attempt a proof of work change, this would be their Hail Mary. This is them saying, if either we do this, either we try to do it, or Bitcoin dies. We all quit and we leave. So this would be their last attempt, right, to stop it. Like, they know it's not going to work, but there's a miracle that it will. So that's kind of it. Maybe if there's time, I do want to talk about Litecoin. Hopefully after the questions. Okay. Could the miners not be overruled somehow? Well, I answered that already. Of course, by if for example, I am going to run a core node. I'm going to run every transaction through that core node. That core node is going to have, core software 0.14, which is not Bitcoin Unlimited compatible. So I will not be able to accept your Bitcoin Unlimited transaction. And if everyone does that, then yeah, miners just got overruled by the users. The checks and balances in Bitcoin is pretty damn good. I think someone recently tweeted out a graphic of the checks and balances in the Bitcoin economy. I haven't seen it. I haven't had time to read it, but I saw the graphic and it looked really cool. If your entire pension and savings were in Bitcoin and you bought at 1,000, would you sell now? That is an excellent question. That's an excellent question. If you're not willing to lose it all, on your belief that Bitcoin is the future, then yes, you should. My pension is in Bitcoin. I bought in at a price lower than 1,000, but it doesn't matter to me, right? I mean, it doesn't matter what price I bought it at, right? Let's say hypothetically, the average price of all the Bitcoin I bought is $500, right? And which is probably true. So all the Bitcoin I bought on average at $500. And by the way, that's probably even, it's probably higher than that because I've lost a substantial amount of Bitcoin. So if I never lost a single Bitcoin, my average buy-in would be lower. But I've done some stupid things with my Bitcoin, and I don't have a lot of Bitcoin that I just, pissed away. So if you factor that in, basically, you got to look at it this way, right? You got to look at the amount of fiat you spent on Bitcoin versus how much Bitcoin valued in fiat you have today. So it's possible that you bought all of your Bitcoin at the average price of 500, but if you add up what you have left, let's say you were gambling or trading and lost it, your average price could be like 1,300 right now, or like 1,500 right now, right? Based on how much is left. So that's how you can look at it, right? So hypothetically speaking, suppose all of the Bitcoin I own, which by percentage of my net worth is huge, but my liquid net worth is virtually non-existent. So like when you divide by 0, it becomes, anyway, some of you math geeks out there will understand what function I'm talking about here. And so to me, if my average buy-in is at 500, and I'm willing to risk Bitcoin going to 0, so it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter if I bought in at 1,000, like you, the person that asked the question, or if I bought in at a substantially lower amount, because I will only sell if I lose faith in Bitcoin. And if I lose faith in Bitcoin, that means the price is already pretty damn low because speculators are going to lose faith way before me, okay? But then again, if I see core developers quitting, I'm going to leave. And some people may not see that as Bitcoin failing, but to me, that's Bitcoin failing. Luke Dash Jr., Gregory Maxwell, Peter Todd, who else is there? Peter Will, and several others, right? I mean, look, you don't need to know code, but you need to learn who your core developers are. You need to learn who is running your code, who's making your code. You have to look into these people's histories. You have to look at their politics. You have to understand who your core developers are, okay? A CEO at a company has no idea how to program, any company, okay? Mark Zuckerberg has a CTO. That's it. He trusts his CTO to program Facebook. Elon Musk knows nothing about car engineering. He trusts the engineers that are going to program the smart car, the Model S. Okay? They're doing that, not him. He's steering the ship. Okay? So he trusts his developers. You need to trust your developers. If you don't trust your developers, you shouldn't be in Bitcoin. If you don't trust core developers, then you should be with Bitcoin Unlimited or not even in Bitcoin. Okay? You have to learn who these people are. Look them up. All right, next question. If you believe Bitcoin should be a store of value, do you believe any crypto should be used for cups of coffee transactions? If so, what do you prefer? It's not up to me to tell you whether you should or shouldn't use Bitcoin for a cup of coffee. Okay? I prefer to use the most convenient means of payment. Buying coffee with dollars in my pocket when I have dollars, and with a credit card if I don't, is generally somewhat easier than buying it with Bitcoin on the spot. Okay. Now, credit cards have their problems. I hate credit cards in that I have to remember to pay them, and sometimes I miss payments and all this nonsense, right? So it's not ideal. But the Bitcoin transaction fees are not allowing me to use Bitcoin for cups of coffee. So I'm not going to use Bitcoin for cups of coffee unless those transaction fees are reasonable. Because guess what? I don't need to use Bitcoin for cups of coffee. What I need to use Bitcoin for is to pay for my VPN. And I don't care how much it costs to send that transaction. And I can wait a day or two for it to clear, for me to buy my VPN, because I'm probably going to buy it, a month before it expires anyway, right? So I don't care, right? When you have to use Bitcoin, the fee won't matter. And neither will the time it takes to clear your transactions, okay? So it's not, you use your most convenient payment. I would like to see Bitcoin be both a store of value and a micropayment system. But it's not like that right now. I mean, it will be in the future with Segwit and Lightning, because Bitcoin Unlimited sure as hell ain't gonna do it. Their incompetence is gonna destroy their code base. So you're not even gonna get there, right? It won't matter. It will be irrelevant, right? So if you want to use it for coffee one day, let the core devs do their work. Also, if the Bitcoin microtransactions are off-chain and too cheap, the miners might have a bit of a problem, won't they? And again, you let the smart decentralized group of people come up with the best solution to incentivize miners enough to continue to strengthen Bitcoin security. Look, the Bitcoin core team doesn't want to lower the hash rate. They don't want to lower the security of Bitcoin. The security of Bitcoin is only as good as the united mining structure. So it's not in their best interest to screw with the miners. But if the miners are going to screw with Bitcoin, they're going to fight back. It's their life's work. They're not going to give it up like that. Oh, check this out. Oh, there goes Bitcoin. There goes that trade. I put this theoretical trade in real time. Anybody could have done it. Anybody could have bought Bitcoin at 1020. I saw it drop to 1018 at the time on whatever exchange I'm doing it on, Bitfinex, right there. Okay. Again, I'm not telling you that the Bitcoin is going to be the future. I'm just looking at the risk reward. This could be any asset, right? This doesn't have to be Bitcoin, right? I could have not known. You could have put this chart in front of me without telling me what it was, and I would have drawn the same risk reward. You saw me draw these lines in, okay? And this was my risk reward trade. I'm risking what? I'm risking $40, and I'm looking for $150 profit. Now, if you're profitable right here and you want to take this trade off the table, hey, it's up to you. But if I was a directional trader of any asset, this would be the trade I would make. Though I don't like hourly charts, I'm not a day trader, guys. I wasn't good at it. I wasn't consistent. Let's put it that way. I've made good money and I've lost big money. So I only trade things I have way more control of, and it's in the options realm, which I never talk about publicly, other than I trade in the options realm. It's as much info you're gonna get on my trading strategies. But back in the day, this is the trade I would make. I used to be a directional trader. I'm just not anymore. All right, back to questions. How did you learn technical trading? Are there any good courses you would recommend? I taught a one-day course at the last Acapulco event. Okay, so here's how I learned technical trading. Back when I was young and out of college, one of my friends showed me there was a teaching. I mean, YouTube was barely around. YouTube was brand new. It was really hard to learn this online. Exchanges were just coming in. This was early 2000s, guys. I'm old. I paid $8,000 for 2 3-day courses over a span of like 6 months. So I paid $8,000. This is, like 2000. I want to say 4 or 5. So early to mid 2000s, I paid $8,000, which in today's I don't even know how I had that money. I don't even know where I had that money. I was just out of grad school then. But they did pay me to go to grad school, so I got a free master's degree and I got paid to do it. So I was an idiot again, right? I paid $8,000 to learn the basics of technical analysis on a 3-day course, and then 3 or 6 months later, I had another course because it was a whole program. They had like 8 different courses, like there was real estate, whatever, but I didn't do those, right? So I learned the basics in a 3-day course, and then I can take another one of their courses. So I chose the course that taught you about option trading. And that's how much I spent. So that 3-day course that I paid, I guess, half the $4,000 for, it wasn't 3 days. It was probably 2 days, 2 or 3. I don't remember. It was probably 2 days, not 3. 3 seems excessive. So I turned that 2-day course that I learned 15 years ago into a 1-day course, and I taught it in Mexico for $200. Okay. And other than that, just, YouTube is an amazing resource. I can't recommend you any courses. If you want, I mean, I've been thinking if I have a bigger popularity, maybe I can start making my own seminars, but I would need an expert in knowing how to put on seminars, how to advertise. I have no specialty there. So at next year's Acapulco, if I'm going, I will teach this course again, and I'm going to expect a lot more people. And I'm just going to teach you how I read charts. That's all there is to it. It's something that you can learn on your own with YouTube. There is no magic here. The only magic is being able to read it. You know what? Because the charts are not wrong. And you're either right in reading them or you're not right in reading them. And even if you're right in reading them, expect to be right 60% of the time if you're a great trader. As long as you handle your risk reward properly, that's a huge advantage. Casinos built empires on a 2% advantage in blackjack. If you can be consistent with a 60% advantage on technical trading, you will do great. I mean, look what would have happened to you for 2 years if all you did was buy at the bottom of the channel and sell at the top of the channel. You would have sold here before the halving at the top of the channel. You would have bought back in, well, if not here where this arrow was, maybe it came up short. It would have been close enough. So you would have bought back in right here when you touched the channel at $600. And you'd still be freaking holding it because it never hit the top of the channel yet for you to sell. I mean, maybe you would have gotten scared right here and got out. Then you could have got back in when it went back into the channel. So you could have, worst case scenario, you buy at 600. I mean, if you don't sell on this panic, you would have panic sold at 750. That's still a gain. And then you go back in when you get back into the channel. Let's say you missed this week. So you go back in at 900. You're still up today. Again, assuming you didn't sell before the ETF, which I was kind of recommending because I told people the ETF wasn't happening. Anyway, let me get back to questions because I do want to mention Litecoin and this video. And I've already broken my promise to the community that this video was going to last less than an hour and a half. That's already, I'm already past that. How does binary base 2 convert into base 10 trading? Oh God! So I'm assuming you're asking about logarithmic charts. It's the same. It's really the same. I'm too tired to really get into this. Next question. Why are people under the impression miners are making loads of money off the transaction fees? The pool owners keep the transaction fee while the miners get paid only the block reward. That is good to know information. I did not know that the transaction fee was not being distributed to the people in the pool, which is kind of scammy, in my opinion. But remember, who are the biggest mining pools? Bitmain themselves and Bitfury. They don't have to share anything. They just keep it all. So that's the important part. All right, that is the last question that Rich sent me. I can now scroll to the bottom of the chat and see if there are any additional questions. And someone engaged me on, did my chat freeze? All right, here's another. Oh God, more questions. Okay, here we go. All right, thanks, Rich. Shoot. All right, let me mention Litecoin, and then I'll see. If I can get back more questions. I mean, this is getting too much for me, guys. I'm sorry. I know I have 230 viewers again. All right, so let me mention Litecoin real quick. Okay. So Litecoin wants to adopt SegWit, and they're having problems. Maybe it's because there are bad actors trying to prevent SegWit from going on to Litecoin, because that would show that SegWit is good code. I don't know. Okay, I have no idea. But here's the thing, right? Monero has a fairly competent developer team that is somewhat trusted. Most of the other coins are complete scams. I don't know if there even is a Litecoin developer team. So if Bitcoin Unlimited successfully forks Bitcoin, which I don't think is going to happen, and the Bitcoin Unlimited chain is going to become the dominant chain, which again, I do not think would happen. Even if they fork, I think the BU chain would die. But given a 30% chance that they hard fork, and then a 5% chance of the 35% chance that BTU succeeds over BTC and becomes BTC, now we're down to I don't know, a point, a less than a 3% chance this is going to happen. Our core developers are going to quit. They're going to quit Bitcoin. Most of them are going to go and find real jobs that pay them good money, probably on Wall Street. And because they probably realize, like myself, how much more responsible and legit Wall Street is compared to the crypto space. More competent, more, less scammy, like all this stuff, right, over on Wall Street. So given that 3% probability, within that 3% chance, if some of our all-star core developers decide they really want to do some more science in the crypto space and they haven't fully given up, the most logical place for them to go and develop is Litecoin. Now, this is not an endorsement to buy Litecoin. I do not own any Litecoin. I have no intention of buying Litecoin. But in my opinion, if our core developers don't quit Bitcoin, the only place left for them to program will be on Litecoin, they're not going to start their own altcoin. They're just not. They're going to go with the most distributed, most secure, most closest thing to Bitcoin left, which would be Litecoin. And the first thing they would do is they would try to hard fork Litecoin into something for their vision. And if that hard fork is accepted by the community, they would then continue to be the core developers for Litecoin. I give the probability of this happening a whopping 0.5% out of 100. So in no way is this an endorsement for Litecoin. But it's a way higher percentage of success than anything else in crypto besides current segregated witness compatible Bitcoin. Okay. And for the record, I do not have any Litecoin. It's possible I have some Litecoin, but I would, and by some miracle, I might get to it, but it's not a lot because back in my young and stupid days, I did trade some altcoins, and most of them have gone to zero. And I wouldn't even know what they are. It's possible they were even on Cryptsy. Like if Litecoin ever turns into anything useful, I would then have to go back into my memory banks and just literally I can spend like a week. I can be like that guy looking through the dumpster, and I may not even do it because if I can even get to my Litecoin, my best guess, I'll have like 25 Litecoin, right? So if Litecoin ever becomes like $10,000 each, which I highly doubt, highly doubt, I would consider trying to figure out where my Litecoin is, and I'm 99% sure I would not be successful. I'm pretty sure the 20 to 25 Litecoin I had at one point is now gone forever. So there. I do not believe Litecoin will succeed. I still give it a 99.5% probability that the future of Litecoin would be a value of 3 cents. But it's a much higher chance of success than I give anything else. People said Bitcoin will be $2,000 to $3,000 by end of year. Was it not possible to see this coming? Well, what do you mean? I said Bitcoin would be $2,000 in August. I'm not backing down. I still think Bitcoin will be $2,000 in August. I mean, that my view hasn't changed. Again, I'm a technical trader. That hasn't changed. Were there huge events that might destroy Bitcoin? There's always a huge event that will destroy Bitcoin. Will it ever be stable? I hope so, but I don't know. Hopefully before I die, it'll be stable. Of old age, not like by a bus, but yeah. So I mean, I have not backed down from my 2000 by August prediction. I may back down from it if we fall below 915. I may not. I have no reason. I mean, the year just started, guys. We're in March. God, Bitcoin was 400 at this time a year ago. Come on, don't be silly. Is cloud mining stupid? Yes. Could it ever be profitable? No. Next question. How do you get a hardware wallet to bounce off your own node? You absolutely can and should. I am not the expert to explain this to you. Adam Meister might be someone better. He's here's my resident Trezor expert. When I get my shit together in that realm of things, I'll gladly make a video for you. People might be mad at me because I'll cut into their business model of teaching them. So maybe I don't know, but I don't care. I give away too much information. This is why I'm broke. I just had this huge argument with, oh man, what's that guy? Bryce Wiener or something? I don't even know. He started this Twitter fight with me yesterday, mostly talking about how rich he is, and I'm countering that with how broke I am. And it was if anyone really cares, go to my Twitter. I don't do Twitter fights that often. That one was just stupid. All right, next. I do have to go, guys. Actually, I have to. I hope I'm not late for my virtual presentation for Idaho. Um, could you explain what is exactly motivating of these mining pools that start to mine with unlimited? No, I can't. I mean, I don't know. I'm not in their head. I'm not in their meetings. I'm not privy to private information. I'm only privileged to public information that I have to interpret as a trader and a speculator, even though I don't actually speculate on the price of Bitcoin, but I do it for my audience. Please watch the beginning of this video, the beginning of this Q&A. My last few videos, I know they're insanely long. Please read the article, this article right here on my blog. I talk about all of this. This is a Bitcoin hard fork avoidable? You might be late to this video. I kind of already talked about this. I have no idea what I can speculate on their motivations, and I have many times already. When is the crypto scam Bitcoin Unlimited coming out? You know what? I'm having someone help me do the research for that, and hopefully soon. I gotta find a co-host, and I really want to do cloud mining as a Bitcoin crypto scam episode. I'm sorry, guys. Ethereum's gonna have to wait. I really wanted to get Ethereum done by now, but I just not enough time. I mean, this whole fork thing really, like, I didn't see this coming. I did not want to be this busy with the. And I didn't want to debate Roger. Like, I don't want to be doing this shit, but I have to. What do I think about McPool, McAfee mining pool? McAfee, I believe McAfee is broke. I believe McAfee is verifiably crazy. I think aligning with McAfee and running a business with McAfee is one of the stupidest things you can do in your professional or personal life. I think the whole thing is insanity. And please go read this article where I do speculate on the worst case scenario involving McAfee's project. Wall Street thinks McAfee is a joke. If you pull up the stock of MGT Capital, if you look at the stock of MGT Capital, the value of the stock is 85 cents. If you look at this company 1 year out, it was worth $4 when he started talking about mining Bitcoin. The value is now 85 cents. This stock used to be $6. It became worthless, 25 cents. Then it got the hype machine that they're going to be the greatest Bitcoin mining pool ever. And now it's down. It's back to 85 cents. Okay, so this is nonsense. If McAfee knew what he was doing, Wall Street wouldn't. The stock wouldn't be worth 85 cents. I can tell you that right now. Yes, Wall Street's occasionally wrong, but they're right 99% of the time. All right, next. I really have to get through these questions. Last one. Why do people think miners get the transaction fee? The handful. I think we already covered that one, didn't we? Yeah, that's a repeat. What do you mean? Miners do get the transaction fee. Oh, okay. Yeah, the pool owners, right? Well, again, this is why you shouldn't mine in a pool. Look, you want to mine, you want to cloud mine, you want to lose money, go ahead. Yeah, questions are never ending. Okay, guys, thank you for tuning in. Please go to my blog. Please read the article. I know these videos are going on forever, but the questions are also going on forever. I might have to put in a transaction fee to ask a question. One of the reasons is to cut down on the questions, and the other reason is you know, if your question is so valuable, then maybe you'll be willing to pay a transaction fee for it. I don't know. You know, I'm going to be the evil core devs. I'm going to be the evil one, and you know, pay to get your question to the top of the line, because this is a lot for me to do all of these videos. But thank you very much for tuning in. Hopefully, I haven't pissed off everyone in the state of Idaho, and I will be doing their event now live. And please come out to the Philadelphia meetup tomorrow, where I will be speaking in person. I plan to make this next video on Sunday, like I usually do. I'll try and make it earlier in the day to accommodate people in Europe. All right. Have a good night, guys.